FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. This is The Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Handicapping all the football action, here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. It is bracket week, March Madness, NCAA Tournament, as we say this time of year. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us. Lang Whitaker is not here. I'm Rob Fisher in my AI jersey today. Georgetown, Patrick Ewing, congratulations to them. John Roser is in the house today. Hello,
I'm here.
John.
Hello, Rob.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, too.
It's bracket time.
It is.
Jessica Benson in today with us as well from the Rise and Grind show, pre- and post-game of the Grizzlies. You're busy.
Yeah. I told my mom I was walking over here, and she was like, don't you do enough?
You're busy. You don't sleep. So we really appreciate you being here today.
I couldn't miss it.
A real Renaissance woman.
A real Renaissance woman.
You betcha.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being here. How are you?
I am good, although, do you really say tournament?
During March, I say tournament.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the only time of year that I feel like I need to.
I'm a big tournament.
It's tournament.
I say tournament every month of the year other than March.
Okay.
When I'm like, tournament.
You
it's the NCAA
evolve
tournament.
into a much fancier version of yourself.
I don't know why.
That's
know
cool.
why. It just happens.
That's cool.
CJ Hurt is here as well. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How's everybody going? Nice to see you again. Jessica, I think
Hi,
we
CJ.
know one another.
Yeah, we shouldn't
What's
disrespect your sleep schedule either.
Yeah.
One thing CJ does, one thing Conrad Hurt the Jr. does is sleep, baby. Don't worry about me.
It is bracket week. It's amazing to me. The first thing that I thought about on Sunday night when I was printing out this bracket is for how much we've gone to a technological age. This is still one piece of paper that we keep with us for an entire month and write on and keep our notes because it's bracket time, and it's crazy what a bracket does for us as a nation.
No, it is amazing. You know, I miss Mike and Mike when they used to do their fantastic morning show on national ESPN radio. Right. They always did their bracket challenge between Golick and Green. They called them their sheets of integrity. The sheet of integrity.
Yeah, but most of us also look at this and go, I hate it. I hate my bracket. I hate my bracket. Jessica, do you hate your bracket?
Oh, I love it right now.
Really? You love it?
Oh, yeah. I love it until at this point. I'm really salty about the shifting of the schedules and the first four being played on Thursday and the first round not getting started until Friday. But I do love it up until like my first game that goes awry, then it's over. But I love this is my favorite time of year. You talk about like paper brackets. Monday morning I would wake up, my dad would have the newspaper out as a kid with the bracket from the paper with my breakfast before going to school in the morning, and like those were the days. I don't even own a printer now, so my bracket is on my computer.
Your bracket's on your computer?
Mine's on my phone.
Oh, really?
I just went to Google Images to pull one up.
I am hard paper, man.
They screwed us, Fish.
I need my red pen. I need my highlighter. The whole deal.
The committee screwed us. They really screwed us.
Who?
Drake!
Oh,
team, man. Well, they're going to make us play in the play-in game and have us in the same region as freaking Gonzaga.
Yeah, I know. No respect for
no
Drake,
respect.
Which again, good teams win, great teams cover.
And they covered.
And Drake was 23-4 against the spread this year. Shout out to Drake for big money this year.
Shanquan Hemphill is back.
Yes.
I mean, Roman Penn's not, and he's led the Missouri Valley in assists each of the last two seasons. He's their point guard. That stinks.
And out of principle, I got him beating USC. I mean, I got to beat Wichita State first.
You have them beating
I'm sorry,
USC.
Jessica. Yeah, I know.
I'm
that
so
hurts,
sorry.
doesn't it? I'm sorry.
I have them money line against Wichita State. I will have them advancing.
Yeah!
And I've got a little bit on them to make the Final Four, too. Got a little bit a little taste to make the Final Four.
This is our welcome to you, Jessica. Drake, man, over the Trojans.
Here I am. USC pulls this draw, and I'm like, sweet, we can get, at that point, I thought Hanford wasn't going to play. Get it past Drake. Get Kansas, who's dealing with all their COVID issues. Yep. Get them. I have USC going to the Elite Eight.
What? Can you blame us, though, for not writing for Pac-12 basketball?
I would like to say that I am taking the Bill Walton approach to my bracket this year, in that I am picking all Pac-12 teams and only Pac-12 teams up until the Sweet 16, except for UCLA, because I am a good USC grad.
That's
so
right.
I will not pick UCLA. Right. I did pick Michigan State.
I find it very difficult for myself this week, being an alum of St. Louis University. And the Billikens are like the third alternate. Yeah. And
Tough
it's
times.
really hard for me to sit here and say, come on, COVID! Let's get 3 teams!
Get one of these. I mean, get a couple of these out of here.
I feel terrible. I feel terrible that I'm rooting for COVID to get the Billikens into the tournament. That's not a good feeling for me.
That's a tough way to go, rooting for illness.
Yes! Isn't that awful?
Yeah. Rooting for a deadly virus.
Louisville has no problem with it. They're sitting there right there's the next one in. They're like,
come on, COVID, come on, go.
You guys also want to go out to dinner? Your rooms aren't going to be ready when you get to Indianapolis either. You're going to go home.
Yeah. You want to talk about somebody else who got screwed? Why the committee does this to our old friend Josh Pastner, I never know. Speaking of SLU, I was in Columbus, Ohio at Nationwide Arena, myself and Chris Vernon, the year Memphis was in the 8-9 game and played St. Louis in the first round. That's when they got up 8 points late in the second half, and then Will Barton and Chris Crawford started fighting with each other, and then it all fell apart. But, Rick Majerus coached that team, and all he decided he was going to do that entire game was, when we shoot the ball, we just run back on defense. We are not going to get offensive rebounds. They are not running on us. And now Josh Pastner wins the ACC tournament, one of the best conferences in basketball, wins the ACC tournament, and he gets rewarded by having to play a Rick Majerus disciple in Porter Moser and Loyola Chicago, whose leading scorer averages 15 points a game. He is their only scorer to average double figures. Their other leading scorers average 8.2, 8.1, 7.7. They just want to win 50-42, and that's a nightmare for Josh Pastner.
I was going to say, 101 years old, and she's making the trip.
Yeah,
she will be there. If I'm going to take Sister Jean over a face shield any day of the week, no offense to Josh Pastner, but face shield only protects so far.
A couple of things I found out recently, that Sister Jean, 101, still alive. Also found out still alive, Angela Lansbury.
Oh, really?
Shut up! I just went down this rabbit hole the other day. I was shocked to find out that Angela Lansbury was still alive.
She turns 90. She turns 96 this year.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Yeah.
Shout out to Murder.
She wrote.
Murder, she wrote. Yeah. Murder, she wrote.
All right, so we got the bracket. Gonzaga's the number 1 overall seed. No surprise there with the season that they had, undefeated going into this NCAA tournament. And many believing that they will go unscathed and be the first team since Indiana to go undefeated. They are a huge favorite. Are they too big of a favorite? Are we giving them too much respect?
No.
I hope not. I've also got I have a hefty bet on them to win the national championship. No, they're awesome. They are legit awesome. And they are fun to watch. They move that ball around. I mean, they could shoot it from deep. They could drive it. The freshman Jalen Suggs is going to be a lottery pick in the draft. No, they're awesome. They are.
Jessica, too big of a favorite?
No, I've banged this drum the entirety of the season, and as a former West Coaster and someone who worked in that area, I feel like I'm way too tapped into Gonzaga basketball sometimes, but this was a group of people very excited about this season going into it. They've done nothing but lived up to the hype. One of the best offenses in college basketball this year, the best offense in college basketball this year, top 10 defense. You mentioned Jalen Suggs, one of those guys who's just going to become a household name throughout the month of March, and then on top of that, Corey Kispert. I know a lot of people in Memphis really like Corey Kispert, but he can knock it down. They have great length. Drew Timmy's really good too, and you can't underdo Mark Few at this point. He's a proven coach in March, and I think this is their year.
My favorite Mark Few story, because I was there for it, it was when the regionals were here, and it was all the top 4 seeds in the region made it. It was North Carolina, Oklahoma with Blake Griffin. They had Oklahoma with Blake Griffin. Syracuse had Johnny Flynn, and Eric Devendorf, and Gonzaga. And Gonzaga had Micah Downs, who had transferred from Kansas, and they had our old Grizzly buddy, Austin Day. And Austin Day whined a lot. And I'm sitting directly behind the Gonzaga bench. Like I could probably, I could spit on Mark Few. I could have got, that's how close he is to me. And Austin Day is sitting there complaining. Mark Few's hunched over watching the game on the court. And Mark Few just turns around and goes, Austin, shut the F up. I'm trying to coach an effing game. I was like, oh, man. So that's my Mark Few story. But every time we've had Mark Few on our show over the years, he's great. Mark Few's the best.
When's the last, because Gonzaga is the best team in the nation. I think everybody would agree with that. But when's the last time the best team in the nation throughout the regular season and even into conference tournaments went out there and won in March? It feels like we set them up and we put them on a pedestal, and then an upset happens in the Sweet 16 and they don't get there.
No, it's possible. I mean, I think the North Carolina team that beat Gonzaga in the finals, I think that Carolina team was the best team. I think they were the best team all year. And North Carolina's done it a couple times. The one with the Hansbrough team with Ty Lawson, that they were here in the regionals. They ended up winning the tournament that year.
God, that was an awesome regional.
Ty Lawson, they had Ty Lawson, Danny Green, Tyler Hansbrough, Ed Davis. That team was stacked. Yeah.
Gonzaga's Mark Few, he is the head coach of the Zags. He was asked this week after the tournament selection committee announced the bracket. He was asked, is it win or bust?
I don't know if it's significant. And listen, that can't take away from how competitive a group that I coach or how competitive I am. I think people that know me, but I think I'm pretty good at perspective and what we've been through this year, and just to have this incredible run. Heck, to be, on March 14th undefeated is crazy, especially, with the preseason we played and even just getting through our league season with, we've carried the number one target on our shoulder all year, all the way back to November 1. So I think that's an incredible accomplishment. That being said, heck yeah, I mean, we want to win a national championship, but the one thing that I know I can give to these guys is the experience of being in this tournament. And every darn game is, we have to be ready to go, and we have to play really, really well, including this first one.
Including this first one, sure.
Okay.
Against Norfolk State or App State. Gonzaga, when you look at Gonzaga in their route to the Final Four, is it the easiest?
When was the last time we had a 1 seed who had beaten the 2, 3, and 4 seed in their region? I mean, truly, when you look at head-to-head competition, they've already taken down Iowa, Kansas, and Virginia, and obviously Virginia has their own set of problems going into this, but in that bracket, and I hate myself for it, but I have the 12 seed and the 13 seed advancing.
So do I! I'm so excited about it.
It makes me so uncomfortable, but I love it.
I do
I'm
too.
all about
I'm so
it.
excited. That's my
UCSB
favorite bracket.
Ohio, and let's go Gauchos as we go through this experience. But that just tells you, Gonzaga, by all means, has every opportunity to make it at least to the Final Four.
Yeah, in this year, Roser, you might agree with me here, it's all about, my knowledge of this bracket is all about what I've bet all year. And you see
Drake and Memphis isn't in here, so
but UCSB, Santa Barbara, and Ohio, two teams that have been very good against the number this year. And I looked at both of them, and I think that those are two teams, the 12 and the 13, that I also have advancing in that bracket.
Hey, so look who's the 15 seed in that region.
Grand Canyon.
Does Dan Marley still coach them?
The WAC! Long live the WAC!
Is it Dan Marley? Does he still coach them?
Bryce
Drew. Oh, that sucks. He didn't win a game in the SEC. Bring back Thunder Dan. It's Thunder Dan, the only white dude in NBA history to have a tan, by the way.
Oh, a great tan.
Great tan for Thunder Dan.
Yeah. He was very, very tan. As far as also with 2 seeds, it's only happened twice since 1997 that all 4 2 seeds have advanced to the Sweet 16. Do you have all 4 2 seeds in the Sweet 16? I do.
I do not. I have Oregon upsetting Iowa, and again, back to the Bill Walton philosophy of Pac-12 teams are bust, baby. But Oregon is a team that has dealt with COVID issues, they've dealt with injuries, and they're finally at full strength going into the tournament. They've won, I want to say 9 of their last 10 games going into this, and obviously got beat by the running beavers of Oregon State in the Pac-12 tournament. But I think they have the potential there. I like Iowa as well, but that's the only 2 seed I don't have in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, Iowa. Go ahead and say it. It's pretty obvious. Luka Garza, future Memphis Grizzly. He's a future Memphis Grizzly. No, it's obvious because because this is what they do. He's the 4-year player, and everybody's just going to talk about what he can't do. Right. Can't do this and that. But what he can do is the dude rebounds the hell out of the ball, and he shoots the cover off the ball.
Plays basketball.
He's a really good basketball player. He's going to end up being a Grizzly. I'm like, I've never been more certain of anything in my life is that Luka Garza will be a Memphis Grizzly.
Do you have all 4 1 seeds in at least your Sweet 16? Or Elite 8. I'm going Elite 8. I'll go as far as Elite 8.
But I will say, everybody loves Illinois. Watch out for Loyola Chicago. Watch out for them. Watch out for them.
They got to beat Josh first.
No, but that's the thing.
I think they'll beat Josh, but they're peed. Like, if I'm Illinois, I'm mad. Because arguably, Illinois should have been the number 2-1 seed of this group.
And that's going to be a rivalry game, too, for Loyola Chicago. You're playing the state school. And if you look at Ken Palm has Loyola Chicago as the 9th best team in the country.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's going to be a total contrast of styles. Like Illinois. Look, Illinois's got more talent than Loyola Chicago, and they could beat them. Like they clearly can beat them, but they're going to have to do it playing Loyola Chicago's way if they get by Georgia Tech first.
I almost am more chalky this year than maybe years past, and to me, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're not having that neutral site experience. You're not having that. Fans jumping on a bandwagon of an underdog and the place going crazy, neutral fans just jumping on the bandwagon because you're not going to have a lot of fans. So I wonder if that's going to affect how many upsets we actually see.
I think this might be why Archie Miller got fired. They're like the one year the entire NCAA tournament is sitting in our backyard and we can't make it. Like you're only allowed like 8,000 fans at games. Like Indiana could have like the biggest home court advantage in NCAA tournament history, and they didn't even make it because they couldn't even get above 500.
Do you think more chalky this year?
See, that's the thing. Like throughout my bracket, I was definitely a little more chalky here and there, but I truly think it could just be straight chaos because of that. I mean,
that's also.
Like
it could go the other way.
Like a team like Gonzaga who fights all year to at least get regional court advantage in the West, and you're all going to Indiana. You are all enjoying the great state of Indiana together. I do think when you talk about 2 seeds, one of my favorite setups that they have is that Kelvin Sampson has to play at Assembly Hall in that first round against our team on Rise and Grind, the Cleveland State Vikings, 20-point underdogs.
Yeah.
Take them.
I love that we all have like our own little mid-major. Like we've been on Drake all year. Y'all are on Cleveland State. Like we've got our mid-major. Robbie, who's producing, being our technical director, he loves Colgate.
And we got our mid-majors.
We've got our mid-majors this year.
I was really torn of wearing the Drake hoodie again this week, but I decided.
You have a Drake hoodie?
I do have a Drake hoodie.
I will say,
thanks to them winning me a lot of money this year.
The East region is the one where it's. I think who knows what can happen in that. I mean, Michigan lost Isaiah Livers, who is like that dude means a lot to them. They lost him to a broken foot. Alabama is a team like.
That's who I have. Yeah, and I don't like it.
Because they shoot so many threes. If they go 6 for 35, they're not going to win. But if they go 16 for 35, like they are the team that I look at. Alabama, like if they just get on that roll. Like, they are a team that if they met Gonzaga in the Final Four, if they get hot from 3, like, anything can happen with them.
Their defense is so good. Joshua Primo might come back, one of the best freshmen in the country. And Herb Jones, which is like such the perfect name to go in. It feels like he's been there forever. And, SEC Player of the Year, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. I don't like it, though. I went all in on Alabama after the SEC tournament, after Nate Oates went all GTFO on Will Wade, because I was really about that for some reason. Now I feel like that's carried me through filling out my bracket, and I'm like, why?
Well, don't feel bad about that. I don't know if you've seen like any of these documentaries or read these stories. Will Wade is not exactly like a man of integrity.
That's why I loved it. It felt like
Well, Wade makes strong-ass offers now. Y'all be respectful.
Oh, he does. He does. No, but I mean, you look at this East region. But Michigan could come out they absolutely can. Alabama could come out of it. Texas could if they get going. Florida State could win it. And is it going to surprise anybody, even though they've had a horrible season, like it's been a rough season? Is it going to surprise anybody if Michigan State's in the Elite Eight? Like, would that shock you?
Yes.
That would not
I
shock
guess it
me.
wouldn't shock me.
Thomas
But
March. It doesn't
really,
shock me.
It really pissed me off because for them to even be in the tournament is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, look.
You needed that first 4 ratings, man. You went a whole year without the NCAA tournament. You got to come in with a bang on that Thursday.
And they're not going to let us. I really think what they did is they had somebody in a room, and they had a Kentucky logo, a Duke logo, and a Michigan State logo. And
which one?
And they put the cups over them, and the guy just flipped them around real quick, and the committee just goes, that one. Picked it up, and it's Michigan State. Like, okay, they're in. That's one of them we have to put in.
CJ, you're our Michigan guy. Tell me why they can get to the Final Four even with the injury.
Because they're so versatile and deep. So, sure, Livers is the best at what they do. And by what they do, I mean they get the ball off the rim and they go. They don't have to find a point guard. They don't have to find a guard. They put you in tough situations, not on a fast break, but on a secondary break. That dribble handoff with Michigan is so lethal. They come down the court, it's Livers, or it's Wagner, or it's Brown, or it's anybody who gets the ball off the rebound. They get to the middle of the court, they dribble to the wing, they hand it off. That person turns the corner and gets a screen by Dickinson, who is a great screen setter. 3 or 4 times a game, he is knocking somebody down, setting the screen, and then he rolls.
Right.
And it's easy buckets, no matter what. Sure, Livers is the best one at doing that, but they have tons of guys who are versatile in the same sort of way. And defensively, they can switch multiple positions. They defend the 3 real well, and then Dickinson's behind you to contest at the rim. Losing Livers hurts, sure, but I still think in that region, Michigan is the team to beat, and I expect them to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, and speaking of defense, one of the teams that's really turned it on defensively has been the Kansas Jayhawks. They come in as a 3 seed, had to bow out of the Big 12 tournament because of COVID issues. Come on, COVID. I can't do that. I can't do that with a serious face.
It feels
it's
so
terrible.
dirty.
It does feel so dirty. Kansas, though, they come in. Bill Self, head coach of the Jayhawks, says they are playing really well on the defensive end.
Early in the season, after the Gonzaga game, I thought we were pretty good defensively. We were playing small. We were flying around. And then for whatever reason, when January came, we got stale and we got slow and certainly not near as competitive on that end. And when you don't make shots and you're not quite as competitive defensively, the outcomes aren't very good. And that's what happened to us. But I think we recommitted defensively. I think that we tweaked some things on how we guard ball screens and stuff that the players kind of got used to by February. And we probably suffered a little bit in January because it was too new to us. But we got pretty sound there late. We don't always rebound the ball, but we become a pretty sound defensive team over the last 6 weeks or so.
Kansas seems to be a team that throughout the season, I thought they were really good, but I thought they had a lot of losses. And you look down, they're 20-8 on the season. They played 28 games.
Yeah, CJ, you were asking like how many times have we seen like the best team in college basketball go into the tournament and then they don't win it? When Kansas is always when they're the number 1 overall seed, no,
never.
They're going down. They're going down Sweet 16 round, or they're going down in the round to like 32. Like it's happening all the time with Kansas.
The Bill Self way of life.
Yeah, and look, they're playing Eastern Washington in the opening round. Do it for Rodney Stuckey, Eastern Washington.
My favorite thing is I saw that Shante Liggins, the head coach over at Eastern Washington, he was talking about how he met Bill Self or ran into Bill Self at a Final Four a couple years ago, and Bill Self had no idea who he was, and he was like, "Hey, Chief," like clearly not knowing the dude's name, and the guy was like, "Do you think Bill Self would know you this time around?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "Take the Eags, do it for Teeny."
There are a lot of bid stealers in this NCAA tournament as well, and one of those teams is the Georgetown Hoyas. Patrick Ewing getting his team to the NCAA tournament. Talked about getting the Hoyas there.
It's hard to put in words. We've come so far in such a little bit of time. I'm very honored to coach these kids. To me, coaching is just like being a parent. You're trying to teach them and show them the best way to become human beings. And they've been doing an outstanding job of getting that done. And right now, we're playing our best ball of the year. And it showed all week long in New York. I
think it's one of the great stories of this March. I mean, It's funny to me because every time I see Patrick Ewing, he just always has that serious, almost angry look on his face. And to see him smile and to see him when he talks about John Thompson and talking about getting Georgetown there. I mean, this is an amazing story for him to get the Hoyas back to the NCAA tournament.
It is an awesome story because, I mean, the truth of it is, he hasn't been very good at Georgetown,
right?
Like, I mean, he hasn't.
They're
been
13
good.
and 12 this year.
Yeah, right. Like, So I tend to think like they're not that good, but are they the team that they're just getting hot at the right time? And they're the 12 at a 5 seed game, and every year a 12 beats a 5. It's like all the time. It always happens. So. No, but good for Patrick Ewing. It is an awesome story. When he said last week, like, this is my arena, I mean, that was great. Oh, that was great. Yeah. That was awesome.
And Jessica, though, that 12-5, it's against a Pac-12 team.
Yeah, I know. But I really would, in a perfect world, in terms of just like good storyline matchups, it would be awesome to see Michigan and Georgetown end up facing off and having Juwan Howard coach his former team, Patrick Ewing coach his former team. That's where it like really stings that Memphis didn't make the tournament, right? Because Penny Hardaway could have been the third coach in the tournament this year to be doing just that. But maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. So speaking of Colorado, they
Colorado's a sleeper, like every Pac-12 team this year.
I've got to find it. Yes. I think this is it. So Bill Walton was calling their game against USC the other night. Jessica, I think I sent this to you.
Yes.
Let's see if we here. Turn this up, CJ. Let's see if we can hear Bill Walton.
To ask for a worse decision. McKinley makes this jumper right here. He loses the ball, turns it over. One of the 7 worst possessions in the history of Buffalo basketball.
One of the 7 worst possessions in the history of Buffalo basketball.
I was going to send it to you because he did the exact same thing in the Pac-12 championship game with Oregon State and said, that is one of the 5th worst possessions in the history of Oregon State basketball. Like, you're retiring your same phrases in the same tournament, my dude.
And he started them forever ago because he had it. It was a Houston Rockets Phoenix Suns game. This was years and years ago, and it was Eddie Griffin who played at Seton Hall, and he's playing for the Rockets, and he's like, big moment. And then Eddie Griffin did something. He goes, oh, he has taken 2 of the worst shots in the history of this Houston Rockets franchise this quarter. And then he went on to proceed. He compared Boris Diaw to one of Beethoven's symphonies.
As only he can do.
He's a classical player.
My goodness. All right, we are just underway here on, well, it's bracket week here on The Odds Couple. Glad you're with us. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Did you watch the Cheez-Its Bowl?
I did not watch any bowl yesterday. I watched an awful Hallmark movie, and I watched Dash and Lily.
I loved Dash
I thought
and
it was
Lily.
awful.
What?
And you told me, and I did blame you when we all watched it.
No!
I literally said, Jessica Benson said this was good.
It doesn't have to realistically make sense. It's a Netflix holiday show.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com.
Yeah, I've always thought maybe a fun dunk contest wrinkle would be just to dunk on people. Instead of jumping over them, have them stand there and make a half-hearted attempt to block your dunk and then just destroy them.
Okay, yeah, but then who's going to sign up for that? Who's like, yeah, I'll be the poster.
Join Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, every Thursday as we debate the hottest topics in the NBA. IMHO on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and our social channels. Once a week, get your basketball fix with Talkin' Grizz featuring me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and media from around the NBA as we discuss draft topics, prospects, and more. Connect with Grind City Media on all their social channels, subscribe to Grind City Media YouTube, and follow Grind City Media on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with all things Grizzlies.
Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com, live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Now, here's more of The Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hey, don't miss the newest show, Rise and Grind. Jessica Benson, who's pictured there on your left, she is here in studio with us. Jessica, tell us about the show.
Oh, I was going to let you full on sell it. Let's see if I can do it by memory at this point.
This duo brings a fresh, fun, and energetic double shot of morning vibes.
Okay, this is a really weird thing I was doing this morning, though, but I'm so sick of that copy because I read it for the game broadcast as well. And so when I was brushing my teeth this morning, I was trying to, like, rewrite Rise and Grind copy. I was like, we've got to sub this out. I can't take it anymore.
Every morning, Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Every morning, CJ's there as well. So make sure you tune in, and I'll just give you the information on where you tune in. The Grizzlies mobile app, YouTube, Grind City Media. Download each episode daily. Subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud today. How about that?
That's it.
Got the official stuff in. All right, Rick Pitino is back in the NCAA Tournament.
A beautiful sight.
And he said he is not leaving Iona. He said he's not interested in Indiana today.
I liked that how great would that have been?
He said he came there he said, I came to end my career at a small Catholic school. This is where I want to be.
It was great when he was talking about all the coaches before him at Iona and how they all went on to do great things. And they all went on. He said, I want to go on to a beach in Miami. That's where I want to go on to. Pretty remarkable. He's taken 5 teams now to the NCAA tournament. The other coaches who have taken as many teams, Lon Kruger being one of them, and Tubby Smith being the other as well. Although Tubby did not take the Memphis Tigers. Yeah. No. Rick Pitino talking about his first-round matchup as he's got the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
Alabama is a great basketball team. We all know that. When a 15 plays a 2, you know what you're in for. He's a terrific young coach. He's got great athletes. They shoot the ball well. They got a fascinating style of play. I happen to watch him 5 or 6 times because I love watching the way they play. So, we'll be prepared. We know what we're up against, certainly. We have great respect for them. We don't have the ability to make it a low-scoring game. That's not us. So we're going to go into it with great optimism. We're going to go into it and play hard, but we know we're playing a great basketball team that's well coached.
He is, I was listening to Colin Cowherd's podcast, and he had Doug Gottlieb on, and they were kind of talking about innovators in college basketball and just the game of basketball, period. And this is the one guy that Gottlieb brought up. You look at how the 3-point shot in college or in the NBA is being used so much now, and Nate Oates is actually doing that in college at Alabama. And Gottlieb brought up Rick Pitino started this in the 80s. Like the 3-point shot. Like he when he went to the Knicks, he really started using it. Providence, and then the days at Kentucky, like he really started utilizing that 3-point shot, and he's always been like an innovator. And look, whatever you want to say about his personal and anything like that, but there's one thing you can't. That he is one of the best basketball coaches ever.
Yes,
that guy is an awesome coach.
He's one of the greatest.
And I will say
5 teams.
And
how many to Final Four? 3.
Providence,
Louisville,
Kentucky, Louisville, and I will bet as long as he's there for at least like maybe 4 to 5 more years, he will get Iona to a Sweet 16. He will. He will.
Iona was in a good place when he came in too, and to be able to continue on with that path. I do love. You talked about, do I love my bracket? Yes, I do. But this Alabama-Iona game, I think Alabama has it just in terms of sheer talent and how that team is built. But I would never distrust Rick Pitino from coming in and stealing in a 15-2 matchup and going on and this is the 1-year anniversary of Lehigh beating Duke. Anything can happen. Yep. And Lehigh didn't have Rick Pitino as their head coach. They did have C.J. McCollum.
They did have C.J. McCollum. He's pretty good.
A little bit of a difference maker there. But it is interesting. Even Nate Oates was up for that, or his name was in the mix for that Indiana job as well. So they will both just sit happily in their current positions and go up against each other.
Yeah, I think if you look up at this game and you look up and it is 10 minutes to go in the game and Alabama's up by like 4, is it going to shock anybody?
No.
Like if Rick Pitino can pull that off like that, I don't think that would shock anybody at all if he did that.
When you get your bracket, what are your keys? If you were to give people how do you start it? How do you tackle it from the get-go?
1 seeds, go ahead and pencil them into the second round. It's only not happened one time, and that was Virginia, a couple of years ago. So, go with your gut. Just go with your gut. Like, don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. Do not. That's when you get yourself in trouble filling out a bracket, is when you start overthinking things. Do not overthink it. Or another way to do it, go look at the KenPom ratings or the Sagarin ratings and just go by those.
Or just really overthink it.
Is that what you do? Is that your?
Or you can really overthink it.
I switch things all the way up until like right, and I hate myself for it because I will inevitably have picked like a big upset that happens. I'll have convinced myself to change it. That's why picking UCSB and Ohio to both advance feels so dirty to me because it's like there's no way this could happen. But then like you saw Creighton get the brakes beat off of them by Georgetown in that game, so they feel vulnerable. Virginia, COVID, whatever. They're not even getting there until Friday now.
Right.
So I just pick whatever I want. And the Pac-12.
Or you could also go with mascot warfare. So go with mascot warfare.
CJ, how do you tackle the bracket?
One seeds, of course. Get them on through. But outside of that, I like good teams who play and beat good teams. As simple as that sounds, I think sometimes we get really caught up in the name of the team and not necessarily the competition or the level of competition that they've played. And so far this season, the best two conferences by far have been the Big Ten and the Big 12. So I identify those teams, and I got a 10 seed getting to Sweet 16 or Elite 8. I have to check it out. And it's Maryland, because Maryland played good teams all year long, and they beat a couple of those teams, and they got a matchup with an Alabama team who any given moment, man, if that shot stops falling, I'm not sure what Alabama is. And I think Maryland can force that to happen because based solely off the fact that they played in the Big Ten, they played a lot of top-notch competition, and the moment's not going to be too big for them.
Couple of nuggets for you while filling out your bracket. Teams favored by 5 or more in the first round since 1996 have won 85.5% of their games. Also, since 1997, all 4 number 2 seeds have advanced to the Sweet 16 only 2 times. Since 1996, 91.5% of tournament winners have been a top 3 seed, so don't get too cute with that either. But you don't want to be too chalky, but I find myself a little too chalky. This is the time of year, too, where the people I despise the most in my life, maybe, despise the most in my life, the people with multiple brackets.
Here we go.
Me. Come at
me. These people who are like, I had Colgate in one of my brackets. Well, hell, if I filled out a bunch of brackets too, I'd have every team in every bracket.
If I had 10 brackets, I'd have a bunch of different combinations too.
I'm thinking of just filling out one bracket with 32 teams advancing, the other bracket with the other 32 teams advancing, and I could say I had them advancing in one of my brackets. I hate the one of my brackets people. Jessica, are you one of my brackets people?
You invited her here today. Did you do it just for this moment? Were you like trapping her?
No, I will say that I try for that because I don't like to be one of the people who can't feel consistently about one game. I don't like to feel like up and down. I really like to be steadfast in how I'm feeling. So even though I have multiple brackets, I have 7 brackets.
7?
Okay, no. They're all 6 of them are exactly the same.
Okay.
I started yesterday thinking I was lost in this world, and I was like, I have no one to play with this year. And then by the end of the day, I was in 7 different leagues or whatever groups. But I have 6 of them the same, and then I changed 1 up just because it seemed like the right financial move.
How much did you change up?
I have the same Final Four, so just a couple first round. I didn't go all Pac-12.
Well,
we will get to Jessica's gems later.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
With a J.
First round upsets, double-digit seeds. I have probably too many double-digit seeds. I think I have a bunch of 10s going through. I have an 11. I have a 12. I have a 13. I have a couple of 11s winning in the first round. I have a couple of 12s.
Well, we got Drake, so I mean.
Right. I got UCSB and Oregon State knocking off Tennessee.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
You're the first
in
person
one of
on
your
that
brackets
wagon with me. No, in all of them. In every single one. That one I find interesting. I just think Tennessee has been so streaky, and obviously they're still waiting to find out if Fulkerson will be available, and his face did not look good.
Man.
No.
When they went to him on the bench. I guess he had face surgery.
Broke
but
face.
Oregon State, it's not like Tennessee's the better team, but Oregon State's riding a nice little bit of momentum, winning 3 straight in that Pac-12 tournament. I watched way too much of that Pac-12 tournament. And I just think that they have the potential to get the upset there.
Well, there are 2 other things. One is Tennessee does this thing where they're almost kind of like the team that we have in the city, where the Tigers, and that's sometimes they like going on these huge stretches where they don't score.
It just happened against Alabama.
Yeah, and if you don't Don't get me started on that game.
I'm so sorry.
I had Tennessee +4 in that one, and they lose by 5 because they foul with 3 seconds left, and then Alabama hits 2 free throws to win the game. But never mind the fact that Tennessee's up by 15 in the second half and freaking blows the game. The other thing is Rick Barnes is their head coach, and I don't know if you've noticed Rick Barnes' history in the NCAA tournament, but there's a good chance this guy goes out the first weekend like all the time.
He's no Wayne Tinkle.
Who?
The Oregon State coach.
It's not Obama's brother-in-law anymore?
Oh, Wayne Tinkle.
Oh, Tinkle. That's unfortunate. Man. I'm gonna bet he got made fun of.
I thought you would have known that name. I thought that name would have been circled in your college basketball lexicon.
I thought it was still the Robinson guy.
Have you ever won a bracket?
Do what?
Have you ever won a bracket?
I have finished. I've finished, I think, third in I was in a huge pool one year. It was like $5 a person, and the winner, I think, got like 300 something. Second place got like 100 and something, and third place was like $50, and I got like 50. So,
Jessica, have you ever won a bracket?
Once.
Yeah.
It was a great time in my life. It was like a family bracket, so it doesn't even feel. When you beat your family, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
You want to beat strangers.
CJ, you ever win a bracket?
No, but
however,
I did a bracket 56 when I was over at 56. I did a bracket and forgot to turn it in to Eli Savoy. And went out of town for a wedding. Shout out Kevin and Tam Cam. It was their wedding that I went to. I was like, oh man, I forgot to turn my bracket in, and that bracket was the best one there.
No,
I was like, oh, if only I had turned it in, but no.
I won when I was like 12 years old. When NC State won, Jim Valvano. Jim Valvano's team won with that championship. For some reason, I had them winning the championship, and I won the bracket at my dad's work. And I had to go to work and collect all $60 that I won for winning that bracket. But it's the only time that I've ever won.
Because this is what happened when the money.
But we
is
do it
involved.
every year. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because you never know. My 85-year-old Nana was the winner one year. She picked every single first and second round matchup. She got it except for 3. It was the greatest thing in the world. She didn't know. She was just filling them out.
Right.
You never know when you're going to hit on it.
And those are the people that win.
Exactly. But
so why do we do it?
You.
I mean, I can tell you what happens to me. It's the advice I gave of what not to do. It's I overthink it.
Yeah.
I just start overthinking everything, you know? Whereas just okay, they're better. Just,
My favorite.
They're better. I'm taking them.
My favorite thing to do is me and a couple of friends, there'd be like 5 of us. We'd turn in our brackets. Then we'd do a women's bracket. The women's bracket is the best bracket to fill out because basically, at least in years past, when they would play at different sites, you would pick the higher seed in every game or where the games are located. And that was basically it. And you just UConn all the way to the end, or Tennessee, depending on what era it is, all the way to the end. So the women's bracket's very simple to figure out. It's just a few here and there that could make the big difference. And then the NIT bracket's great too. Because it's fun to fill out an NIT bracket because you don't know if teams care or not. And that's the problem.
Well, we know John Calipari did. We had a parade for it.
That's right.
We had a parade for when we won the NIT.
Wow. Should have had the parade.
Yeah. The preseason top 10 team didn't make the NCAA tournament and win the NIT, and we have a freaking parade for it.
Yeah.
I have one question for you, Fish. As you're wearing a Georgetown jersey, and it feels like a loaded question, did you take Syracuse? Because this is a personal thing. Okay.
I did.
You took
because
San Diego
I don't like Jim Boeheim.
But what about Buddy Boeheim?
Him either, by association.
He's a Boeheim.
Yeah.
I got no time. no time for the Boeheim.
No time for the Boeheims. I took San Diego State there. Did you take Syracuse?
This is one that's hard for me because I don't know if you guys ever feel with your alma mater or in my case my significant other's alma mater. I want them to win so he's happy. So I'm going to be watching that game cheering for Syracuse, but at the same time I don't believe that they will win, but that's one that I've changed. So I was trying to look for some insight here.
I have them in one bracket.
Really don't know.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Favorites to win the NCAA tournament: Gonzaga plus 210, Illinois plus 500, Baylor plus 600, Michigan plus 650. All of the number 1 seeds. I found it very interesting that the next favorite on the list of favorites is a number 2 seed. No surprise there, but it's Houston at 1,600. Houston at 1,600, followed by Alabama. Then you have Iowa. Then you have a 3 seed in Texas who's ahead of the 2 seed Ohio State. Ohio State is down actually behind Oklahoma State and Florida State when it comes to the odds. But Houston, the highest ranked, at least odds-wise, for the NCAA tournament.
They're really good, man.
They
are really good. Kelvin Sampson is an awesome coach. They're really good. Like, I mean, that freaking Grimes kid is amazing. Holy crap.
That is what I will give. I'm a huge Houston hater. I've been a Houston hater all season. And when Memphis played them both to end the regular season and in the AAC semifinals game, I said, whoever is the 15 seed to Houston's 2 seed, I am taking. And it just so happened that it was the team of Rise and Grind, Cleveland State. So this is destiny. Coach Gates, Trey Gomillion, let's go. But I will say, Quentin Grimes is the kind of player who makes a big shot in the NCAA tournament.
But not in your bracket.
But not in my bracket. No, and not in CJ's bracket either. I'm not alone in this. No. This one's tough.
Well, maybe she does in one of her brackets, though.
No, God.
But Houston, as great as Houston is, and Houston is a good team, we saw Memphis speed them up. And when Memphis sped them up with that press, they got discombobulated for 8-9 minutes, and offensively they looked inept. Yeah. And they looked every bit as bad as Memphis did on the offensive end of the court. And I don't know, you guys probably don't know this. I've watched like 5 or 6 Cleveland State games. They can press you. They can get you going faster than you want to do. And I don't think Houston is capable of maintaining their composure in those moments when things 1 play, 2 play, 3 play starts going against them and not in their favor, and they're not getting certain calls, and then it'll just snowball for the Cougars. So I'll take Cleveland State.
Look, it could. I'm not going to say it never could happen because, I mean, we've seen Middle Tennessee as a 15 seed knock off Michigan State in opening round. We have seen, who was it? We saw Lehigh with Duke. We have seen, who knocked off Missouri? Norfolk State knocked off Missouri. We have seen South Carolina when Eddie Fogler was their head coach as a 2 seed. They lost to, was it Winthrop?
I think so.
I think Winthrop. No, Coppin State. It was Coppin State who beat them. So I mean, look, 15s over 2s have happened, and so it's not crazy. I think this is going to be one. I think chaos happens.
All right. Well, we'll take a break.
How about this?
On the
a double-digit seed makes the Final Four.
Double-digit seed makes the Final Four.
I mean, Drake's at 11.
There it is. That's very possible. Yes. We'll take a break here on The Odds Couple. Come back, wrap things up here on Grind City Media.
When I said coming to America too, and I knew the look you were going to give me because it's the look I've been getting from everybody, which is like, oh, cool, don't mess it up. We know where you live. We know, there's going to be a wave of people, attacking Crosstown. Just throw down the head of Craig Brewer.
The Chris Vernon Show, live weekdays at noon on GrindCityMedia.com, the Grizzlies mobile app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Once a week, get your basketball fix with Talkin' Grizz featuring me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and media from around the NBA as we discuss draft topics, prospects, and more. Connect with Grind City Media on all their social channels, subscribe to Grind City Media YouTube, and follow Grind City Media on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with all things Grizzlies.
I know everybody on this roster plays hard. We play together, and whoever lines it up with us, it doesn't really matter. Memphis versus everybody for sure.
Kawhi, Justice Winslow with the takeaway. Dillon for 3, down the well it goes. Ja breaks it in, and whoa! Lob, Clark. Anderson for 3. Boom!
That's how we fight. That's how we fight. That's how we fight.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Here's The Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hey, get your daily sports, pop culture, and Grizz fix with insider news and commentary on all things sports and more with the Chris Vernon Show, live at noon, daily, Monday through Friday. Tune in to GrindCityMedia.com, Grind City Media on YouTube, or via the official Grizzlies mobile app to catch Chris live, or download each episode daily and subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud today. Welcome back to The Odds Couple. I'm Rob Fisher. Jessica Benson in today for Lang Whitaker. We thank you for coming in with us today.
I'm sorry I make multiple brackets, but I'm happy to be here.
I feel bad that I went a little far with saying I despise. those people.
Detest. Could have worked just as well. Judge.
I didn't.
He invited you here today just to tell you he despises you.
Okay, but like honestly, even just after not having March Madness for a year last year, I might have gotten a little overeager.
Okay,
come
well,
on, we're coming back for lost time.
That's true.
It's been a while.
That makes sense. I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass this year. The Memphis Tigers, unfortunately, did not make the field of 68 or even the field of 72 this season. They are a number 1 seed in the NIT. It came to a crashing halt in Houston over the weekend. Penny Hardaway after the season ended.
You know, we started off very slow and just couldn't get our footing, and it took us a very long time to try to come together as a team. And then when we got the rhythm, we went into the pause, the COVID pause, and that held us back a little bit, but we came out of that playing really well and lost a tough game at Houston at the buzzer. And, man, got locked and loaded for this tournament and started off well against UCF. And, man, it just seemed like you never wanted to end. And today after losing this game, it's just heartbreaking because we don't really know what's going to happen right now.
Is it a NCAA or bus, or would you accept the NIT invitation?
No, I think just for the respect of the NIT, we would accept an invitation, but I'm just praying that we've done enough to get into the NCAA. We played better in the second half. Our first half of our season is haunting us right now. And we just hope that, that they'll see that we were an NCAA team. If not, then probably going to take the NIT bid if we don't.
And they did take the NIT bid. They'll take on Dayton on Saturday, 11 o'clock at tip. Number 1 seed at Tigers against number 4 seed at Dayton Flyers. Disappointing season, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get what he's saying. I remember Calipari did the same thing when Darius Washington missed the free throws against Louisville, and Calipari said after the game, "We're one of the best 60 at the time. It was 64 teams." He's like, "We're one of the 64 best teams in the country," and that's true. At that time, Memphis was one of the 64 best teams in the country, and I do believe Memphis is one of the 68 best teams in the country right now. The problem is you don't have the resume that says that, and it doesn't matter who you have beaten, and you lose to Western Kentucky, you lose to VCU, you lose to Auburn, you lose to Houston twice. The only team you beat was Wichita. You lose to Tulsa twice. Look, the truth is, if you win one of VCU, Western Kentucky, Auburn, the 2 Houston games, you win 2 of those right there, and you're probably in.
And I think we can all agree if they had DeAndre Williams the entire season, they would have won 2 of those games, and we wouldn't have been having these conversations late in the season. But we knew they had to beat Houston. I didn't think there was necessarily any drama going into Selection Sunday. I know you kind of like hang your hat on hope, but you missed double-digit free throws, and you lost to Houston twice.
Greg Gaston had the stat, and their losses this year, they shot 56% from the free throw line.
Wow.
In their losses. Like, I mean, you got nobody to... Boogie Ellis is hitting 27-foot step-back threes, and then he gets to the free throw line, and he's like 4 for 10. I mean, I'm like, how are you making that?
If you turn away from a Memphis game and you turn back around, the Tigers are missing a free throw. It's like clockwork. I kid you not. Honestly, in those last 2 games, it felt like every single time. I am excited about this NIT matchup, though. I know no one said no one ever. I am excited about the NIT matchup.
Did you fill out a bracket?
No, I did not fill out a bracket. Right. Somehow, a championship in Frisco just doesn't have quite the same ring as Madison Square Garden this time around. But I do really like the matchup. I like that they're going up against Dayton. Dayton has Jalen Crutcher. I was lucky enough to be an AP voter last year for men's basketball, and we obviously didn't have a tournament, but the Dayton Flyers last year were like my team, and that's when they had Obi Toppin, and Jalen Crutcher was a huge part of that. He's a Memphis native. He played at Ridgeway. He's one of my favorite high school players that I covered here, and to see him get to go up against his hometown team, it's a nice little added storyline, and I feel like in the NIT, you want any added storyline you can have. He and Penny Hardaway share a birthday. I learned that yesterday.
Yeah, how about that?
The more you know.
Yeah, the thing is about the NIT, like I said, it's whether or not you care. I talked to Brevin Knight yesterday, and his Stanford team, his freshman year, they went to the NIT. They even were given a home game, and he said they just didn't care. And they went out and they got beat in that first game. I wonder, with these teams now being secluded, quarantined, whatever word you want to use, and just kind of being stuck there, is the attitude you want to get home, or is the attitude of, well, we're here, let's go play, and let's try and win this thing? I mean, it'd be nice to win the final game of your season, even if it is the NIT.
In Frisco.
In Frisco.
No offense to Frisco.
I mean, can we at least get like Dallas? Can they say Dallas? It makes me feel a little better, like if it's Dallas.
Frisco. It's
Like you say
fun.
Frisco, I'm thinking we're talking San Francisco, but we know you can't do anything in California right now.
Right.
So, they should be able to at least call it Dallas. Look, we'll find out. I hope that they, obviously he wants to play in it because it's a chance for his team to get better.
Yeah.
And keep improving. And I think he has found something here too with his team. They have an identity of they are awesome defensively. This is now like back-to-back years that when he's gotten these kids in here, their defense has been unbelievable, and he's got an identity there. It's just about improving the offense more and more, and I would not be shocked this offseason as if he does what Juwan Howard did at Michigan and he finds his Phil Martelli. Larry Brown.
That was a cough.
Larry Brown, who he wanted to hire the first time and the school wouldn't let him.
All right, let's get to our picks for this week. I'll go ahead and start with my picks. Fish's 5 this week. In the West, I like Gonzaga. I like Gonzaga all the way to be the national champion. I'll take Michigan in the East. I still think they're loaded enough that they will get to the Final Four. I'm going to Ohio State in the South. Sorry, CJ. And I'll go with Houston. Some believe Houston may lose in the first round to Cleveland State.
Couldn't be us.
I got Houston going all the way to the Final Four. If Illinois is knocked off, I think Houston's got a pretty easy ride to the Final Four. And I got Gonzaga as a champion. I got them knocking off Ohio State in the national championship. Time for Jessica's Gems.
Jessica's Gems. Where is my board? Here it is, over here. In the West, I have Gonzaga. The Lysol is hiding my gems part of it. Thank you very much. I get my eyesight on. Fresh newbie here. Obviously, we talked extensively about Gonzaga. I have been all about this team all season long. I think that this is their year, and they will become the first undefeated champion since Indiana did it back in the 70s. In the East, it's Alabama. I don't love it. I don't necessarily stand very firmly against my pick in the East, but that's the way my brackets shook out. So we have Alabama. In the South, it's Baylor. I think Baylor has gone through their COVID issues. They're finally getting back together after a tough go, having to come out. You're a little rusty. They're finally playing well again. And in the Midwest, it is Illinois. Ayu Dosunmu. I can never pronounce his name correctly, but he is a bona fide baller. He is the kind of player who wins games in March. So I will take Illinois. That is a very boring 1 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed situation I have going there, and Gonzaga wins it all.
Roser?
We are going to start in the South, and I will take the Baylor Bears. I will say, watch out for North Carolina in this one. They started to play better as the season as it went on. Lot of talent, and I grew up liking the Tar Heels, so I root for them. Best uniforms in college basketball. It's not even close. In the Midwest, I'm going to take Oklahoma State, and it's just because they have the best player. Cade Cunningham's the best player. He's going to be the bona fide number 1 pick in the NBA draft. You got the best player, you got a chance. Carmelo Anthony was once the best player in college basketball, and that's how Syracuse got their national title. So I will roll with them in that one. Also, Illinois out in the second round to Loyola Chicago.
Wow.
In the East, I like Alabama, but I'm like Jessica. I don't really like it. Something's telling me Florida State and Leonard Hamilton are going to make a run here. And then in the East, I'm getting rid of Gonzaga. The other Bulldogs are winning it. The Drake Bulldogs are the 11th seed. They're winning it. And the Drake Bulldogs are cutting down the nets and winning the national championship. Shaquan Hemphill's back. Let's go.
Despite the disrespect that Drake has gotten all season long.
Wrong Bulldogs favored. Wrong Bulldogs favored.
I can't wait for Evan Mobley to single-handedly crush your soul.
Whatever.
Hey, one thing I know for sure, even if Drake loses, they'll cover, because that's what they do. They are a covering machine, and as we know, Roser, great teams do what?
Cover.
That's right. Drake Bulldogs.
And if your basketball team is anything like your football team, we know you're set up for disappointment.
That hurt. That was hurtful.
I'm so sorry we invited you today.
We haven't made an Elite 8 since 2001. That blew my mind when I realized that the other day. It has been a long time. Between USC and UCLA. UCLA hasn't been back to the national championship game since.
Jim Herrick?
Yeah.
So wait, you guys had Lil Romeo and didn't get there?
Shut up. Don't disrespect. Don't put disrespect on Lil Romeo. Those were the days.
CJ, who you got?
It's hard to follow Roser. But I'll go Gonzaga in the West. Michigan in the East. Oklahoma State, Cade Cunningham is phenomenal. And one of the things I really like about him is that he's smart, he knows how to cut, and he's a willing screen setter. And when your best player sets good screens, you can't help off of him, because if you help, he's getting wide open looks. He's getting the ball, and he's able to go downhill. He can attack. So that offense with Oklahoma State, with Cade Cunningham at the center of it, is phenomenal. So give me Oklahoma State in that region, and Villanova, just strictly off the resume of
Jay Wright.
Jay Wright. Like that, yeah. He's phenomenal. And then give me Michigan winning because, well, why not? What was that? Hold on. Magnus? You wanted to talk to me, Magnus? This is my friend Magnus. He talks to me from time to time. Cleveland State Vikings mascot. He said, what? Cleveland State to the Elite Eight? Oh, yeah, so Cleveland State in the Elite Eight, baby. Let's get it. Let's go, Vikings, baby. Let's go.
Oh, no, Jessica's getting something now.
Oh, my gosh. She have Cleveland State stuff?
She's got that. Oh, look at
that. Oh, my gosh. Cleveland State.
Wear it with pride.
Absolutely. Very nice. You know, I did some indoor soccer games at the Cleveland State University Convocation Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's where the Cleveland Crunch used to play.
Cleveland Crunch?
Yeah, with Zoran Karic and Hector Marinero.
Were they sponsored by Nestle?
No, they should have been, though.
Okay.
All right, NCAA Tournament is set. The brackets are set. Fill out your brackets. Good luck with them. And take Drake in the first round against Wichita State, or whatever it's called now.
Money line.
Yeah, take that.
Money line.
Wichita State, and go ahead and take it against USC. Jessica, I want to thank you for coming in, and I want to apologize that we have just torn you apart over the last half hour.
I had a wonderful time. I'd be happy to come
back.
Will
you please come back?
I would love to come back.
She says that, and next time she does, she's bringing the ammo.
We're going to break, and she's going to say, "You guys." Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And, of course, you can hear Jessica and watch every morning on Rise and Grind with Megan Triplett and CJ. CJ, thank you. Roser, thank you. Thank you to Kimball. Thank you to Robbie as well for all the behind-the-scenes work today. I'm Fish. Enjoy your bracket. We'll talk again next week as we get into the Sweet 16. We'll have the numbers for you. We'll have the teams to pick. And we'll have our second chance brackets. That's what next week is for. Until next week, for CJ, Roser, Jessica, I'm Fish. Have a great week, everyone. This has been The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Been listening to The Odds Couple from the American Home Shield Studio on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week for more football handicapping with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.